In this video we are scarifying, reseeding and top dressing. Now with this particular lawn, the couple of issues we've got are, one is that it's done in the middle of summer, which is fine if you know what you're doing and you know what you're getting into. And the other problem that we had was this very tight access down both sides of the property. So the only machine that we could get through was a scarifier, which you can see there, and the actual the little drop spreader for putting the seeds on. So we didn't need to aerate this lawn, but what we've done, we put the top dressing on by hand, which you can see a little bit later on. So just getting the scarifier ready first. What I'm going to do is scarify around the edges, so it's a nice clean edge. The customer's not going to be cutting the grass for a few weeks, so it's best to leave it as neat and tidy as possible. So now just blowing everything back on, just to keep things tidy. And now we're running over the scarifier. Now we've just had new blades fitted and it's performing exceptionally well. Often we have to do 2 or 3 passes, but this is just scarifying extremely well with the first pass. Again, we just tied everything up, off the paths all the time. What I'm doing, I'm just blowing everything into the middle to be cleared up. So just discussing what to do with the waste with the customer. So he's told me I can use his garden waste bin, so I've just gone to pick that up. So now we're using the leaf grabbers. So what we're doing now, we're just scarifying any further areas where it needed a bit more scarifying. And generally it's around the edges, in corners, and the odd little dip in the main lawn where the dogs weed, and it's quite a deep dip and the scarifier doesn't get it. So it's just around the edges there. So we've cleared those up and blowed. And what we're doing now, we're going over with the mower. And that is just to suck up, hoover up any remaining grass, thatch, what's been scarified out. Keeping everything neat and tidy, and we was given permission by the customer to tip the waste over the fence. So now one last scarifier over with the hand scarifying rake. And one last mow there. I want the grass as clean as possible, so that the soil is exposed, so that we can get good seed to soil contact. So here we are now. We've just put fertiliser on, and now we've got the seed into the drop spreader. So we're going up and down. If I see any stones, I'm putting them back onto the pathways. So now we're going again with the overseeding to get the required amount of seed onto the lawn, the right amount for good germination. So we've gone up and down and across, and then I will now go across by hand. Any last few bits that I can see which didn't quite get enough seed, I'm filling those in by hand. And the next stage is to put the top dressing on. But before that, I've just got a bag of topsoil. I'm just filling in any little minor dips where the dog we burn has created quite a a significant dip. So now we've got the top dressing. So all I've done, I opened up the end of the bag and I'm just squeezing it a bit like a bagpipe. I'm walking up and down the garden, just having a quick chat to the customer there. So I think we've probably used about 10 or 12 bags of compost. And what I'm using now, I'm using a brush just to gently brush it all around. And then we're now going up and down with the lawn levelling lute. So we're going up and down and across with the lute just to work everything in. And then finally, a couple of last bags of compost into any areas which you can't see. So at this stage, the camera actually stopped. All that happened at this point was when we'd filled in every single little piece that we could see where there was seed exposed, we then went over with the roller. So I went up and down and backwards and forwards with the roller to get everything pushed in and squeezed in so the seed was touching the soil. Then I cleared up everything, tidied everything away. Then I went and got my wetting agent spray and I applied the wetting agent to the lawn. And the final stage was to give the lawn a good watering in. Like I say, unfortunately the camera didn't capture it, but the customer's been given the right instructions. So in summer you can renovate your lawns, but you've got to water significantly more than what you would do in spring or autumn. So in spring or autumn you can get away with watering twice a day and the grass will come through within a couple of weeks. And then you can start reducing your watering because the weather is generally a lot more wetter and damper. With summer, things are very different. There's no wet weather as much. It's mainly dry. So you've got to water up to 5 times a day initially for the first 2 to 3 weeks. And once it's all come through, it'll look nice on top, but the grass underneath, the roots will be very shallow. So you can't stop watering. Because as soon as you do that, the grass is going to get very, very stressed from the heat and it's just going to turn brown and sort of keel over and die. So basically, month 1, you water between 3 and 5 times a day. Month 2, you water sort of between 2 and 3 times a day. And then for the rest of summer, going into autumn, you need to be watering 3 times a week deeply. If you do that, then you can renovate in summer anytime to suit you, as long as you're prepared to put the watering in. If you don't, then the grass will die on you because the roots are shallow and they take time to develop. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, I appreciate it if you hit the like button. If you've got any comments, please pop them in the comment section below. And finally, if you're not a subscriber, please click on the subscribe button and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.